Hello, I think this is a great idea of Marcia's here at the Village Book Market in Palmyra, New York, to invite authors in to put up a video clip. My latest book is Civil War Campaigns of the 10th New York Cavalry, and of course is available here at the bookstore. It's a paperback, as you can see, published by Lulu.com, and it's 444 pages. And if you need more information, you could send me an email at rmatteson@rochester.rr.com. The book has a number of maps, some official reports, some old photos taken during the war, and some newer photos taken by me near some of the locations that were important to the 10th New York. The book was triggered by the existence of letters that were sent between my great-grandfather, Justus Matteson, and his future spouse, Mary Hatch, written while he was in the cavalry during the war. They were schoolmates in Solon, New York, before the war, which is located near the Cortland, Homer area of New York. The unique part of the book is that it contains about 50 of those letters that were written back and forth between Justus and Mary, which had been preserved down through the family. Justus was in the war from September of 1862 to July of 1865, serving as a private in Company L, and he never had a furlough during the entire period that he was in the war. Most of his service was in Northern Virginia in the Army of the Potomac, and interestingly, when he joined the military, Justus estimated that it would take 2.5 years to win the war, and he was pretty close. The 10th New York represented almost all parts of New York State, from Buffalo to Albany and northern and southern parts of the state. The book includes descriptions of many of the actions in which the 10th New York participated. 10th New York was in some major raids on southern positions, a couple of major cavalry battles at Kelly's Ford and Brandy Station, for example. They were at the Battle of Gettysburg, and were at the Siege of Petersburg, and they were in Sheridan's Appomattox campaign as he followed Lee across to Appomattox Courthouse, where Lee finally surrendered. Quite often a letter from Justus would arrive after a long delay, and he'd have to tell Mary about some long campaign he'd participated in, keeping him from writing letters for a period. He was quite patriotic, felt they had a job to do, and didn't seem to complain much about the lack of leave time. Mary writes back about various things going on at home and her viewing of the lists of casualties that appeared in the local newspapers. She wrote about severe flooding one spring, which took out all the bridges around Homer except for one. And another time during the winter, she writes about a preacher who was stalled in Homer due to a blizzard which stopped his train. As long as he was there, he decided he might as well preach, so he gave a sermon in the local church. Justus wasn't wounded in any of the actions, but he was hurt rather severely when his horse was wounded, and he was in the hospital for 2 months. Apparently the horse rolled on him and hurt his back, but in order to get to the hospital, he had to walk all the way from about Warrenton to near Washington, where the main hospital was located, which was about a 50-mile hike. Mary and Justus were married on July 4th in 1868. After working for a short while in the Cortland, Homer area, they moved to Syracuse, and he worked as a carpenter, working on interior woodwork in the Syracuse University Yates Castle and on other projects. Their only child, my grandfather, was born in Syracuse, and eventually my father and I were born there. For more information about the book, you can send an email to rmatteson@rochester.rr.com, and there are copies available in the bookstore. Thank you.